And welcome everyone back to round number 4 of 6 confirmed Swiss rounds here at Sacred Soda Boys in Peak Rivera, California. I am once again his Chrono. That's Dennis Geisler, that's Fake Coco on the side. We have our round 4 opponents. We have David Huttner going up against Felipe Marin for this battle.
Yeah, I'm really interested in this one. It is a down pair. David's at 3-0, Felipe's at 2-1. We're getting closer to that kind of crunch time of the Swiss rounds. A win here for David probably puts him into top cut. You probably want to be around that 4-2 mark at least. And being able to have 2 more chances for that last win that definitely gets you through at 5-1 would be pretty good, but should be a pretty interesting matchup, even aside from that.
All right, we got the POV from Felipe Marin's side. It's going to be that Blood Moon Ursaluna, the Sinister, the Incineroar, the King Gambit, the Clefairy, and the Annihilate. David Huttner on the Sneasler, Ursaluna Blood Moon, Dragonite, Golden Go, Amoonguss, and Incineroar.
Yeah, it's interesting here. Felipe's got a lot of those more, the kind of bulkier side of the metagame with that Sinistra. You do have, it is, you could see there the Assault Vest on the King Gambit, so it's not one of those Swords Dance setup variants, but there is just a lot of bulk and support on this team. 2 redirectors in the Sinistra and the Clefairy. And then on David's team, it's fairly standard in a lot of ways. It's Incineroar, Amoonguss, Dragonite, Sneasler, etc. But still a lot of variance in all of these Pokemon, so definitely a lot of ways for him to put his own stamp on the team, so to speak.
Yeah, speaking of stamp, this is definitely an opportunity here, because I believe this is also Felipe's first time on the stream. You know, we're getting a lot of newcomers here at Cycle Zero Plays. We encourage all of you who are watching on the stream and have yet to go to an in-person tournament, please check out Cycle Zero Plays and our schedule on PokemonLabs.com.
Yeah, definitely. Next weekend, there's a cup on Saturday and a challenge on Sunday. Those will both be super exciting and also super, competitive. There's going to be a lot of really good players there.
Yeah, this is currently right now the road to Pittsburgh Regionals here from all of our North American attendees. And here we go with game number 1 here from round number 4. It's David leading the Amoonguss and Sneasler and Ursaluna with Incineroar for Felipe.
Off the bat, that is the... we've gotten so used to Sneasler activating the White Herb off of the Intimidate that we forget, yeah, Sneasler does usually just get intimidated, and this is one of those spots. And that leaves Ursaluna in a pretty nice spot here to just click like a big Hyper Voice or something along those lines. To just get a bunch of damage down on the field right now.
Yeah, it definitely is eyeing that Hyper Voice option, potentially a turn normal, but the one problem is that Ursaluna kind of does have an issue with Spore from this Amoonguss, but it won't be the issue right now. Amoonguss is going to switch out straight up. It's going to be that Ursaluna coming in from David.
Yeah, and it is the Blood Moon on the other side as well.
Going to protect as well from Sneeze, and to protect maintain its item that's holding. You see that on the sidebar. It is a Focus Sash. Ursaluna protects too, meaning there wasn't a fake out from this Incineroar more than likely. It's Will-O-Wisp, and a hit protect.
Yeah, definitely an interesting turn from both those sides. I feel like David's in a little bit better of a spot now, just having the Ursaluna out here, just being able to threaten a little bit more damage right now.
Oh no, I think I saw what Felipe did and I understood why he was thinking. But as soon as we see that interaction, you are all going to see the interaction does not work the way Felipe thought it did.
Yeah, it's always easy to make weird clicks like that in Pokemon. The Ursaluna switching out, which is interesting.
Yeah, into Annihilate the once well-trained, and we're going to see that interaction very shortly, but first of all, Close Combat not going to do anything to Annihilate because it's a Ghost type, but Ursaluna not going to care about that with that Mind's Eye ability. Go ahead and use that Hyper Voice on the Annihilate and the Incineroar, but Party Shot goes into the Annihilate, and Felipe thought this would work and activate Defiant, but that is not the case. It needs to be from your opponent, not from yourself.
Yeah, that is certainly true. It does get the Incineroar out of there, not that it necessarily does a lot with that. And Annihilate didn't take a lot of damage coming in here, but the problem is, well, let's get the Leftovers recovery here. We're going to see its moves in just a second and see why it's, yeah, it doesn't have the bulk up.
But it has coaching.
It has coaching.
Which will complement this Assault Vest King Gambit.
Yeah, it certainly can help the King Gambit, it just can't really help itself, which is the big issue at this point. It still does have a decent amount of damage able to be output. Annihilate's still a very strong Pokemon, but Just gets a bit more awkward now, having to play around that. And at this point, I think Felipe is really going to have to play around the King Gambit and potentially the Ursaluna switching back in later to try to win this one.
There's this rationalization now. I believe this is going to be from Felipe's side. It's going to be a King Gambit rationalizing. It's a fire type. Does protect it against Close Combat, but not from Earth Power.
That is certainly true, although I wonder if we'll try to get the KO on that first.
That is not a lot of damage to the King Gambit, makes that intimidating. Incineroar provided onto the Sneasler earlier. Lowers his defenses on Sneasler, and Alive does go for the coaching, so King Gambit does get an attack on the defense boost and will get the opportunity to attack this next turn. Depends on what Moon Ursaluna does for David here. It's going to be an Earth Power. It's still super effective. Into this King Gambit. Hangs on at 18 HP. What's it going to do? It's going to low kick at +1 into the Ursaluna. Hangs on too!
That is really fascinating because I want to mention on top of everything else, the Ursaluna is faster than the King Gambit. That's not necessarily something that I would have expected out of these two Pokemon. King Gambit's definitely not the fastest thing in the world, but that is a pretty fast bear in that case.
I mean, Ursaluna's base speed is 54, 52, if I remember. I know.
1.
And then King Gambit I know is 50.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. King Gambit is pretty slow. I thought it was a little faster than that, but...
No, when it evolves from King Gambit, from Bisharp to King Gambit, apparently it becomes like more stationary onto the throne.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Ursaluna is just going to switch out just in case, Sucker Punch could be an option. Because, well, again, this is an Assault Vest on the Ursaluna, so it does have to attack, meaning if it was Sucker Punch going that way, which probably happened, we don't know where it went, it's going to fail. The Sneasler goes for the Dark Claw, is going to knock out the King Gambit. Now, it does have a free move to go for, but I'm not sure if it's going to like going for Close Combat on the Amoonguss. If it's anything towards the Sneasler, it's going to break that focus touch, which is going to be important, and that's what happens.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is that Annihilate is still -1, and it's not really getting a whole lot done with with its attacks right now. And so the Rage Fist breaking the Sash is probably the best that it's going to do. You get the Incineroar back out here, so that's another Intimidate onto the Sneasler. But at this point, the Sneasler is just kind of around for... I mean, neither of these Pokemon is actually doing a lot of damage right now on David's side, so I wonder if Felipe wants to get something set up or get into a good position for the end game, but I don't know how you do that right now.
Yeah, losing King Gambit is the big one for Felipe, because that was your big damage dealer thanks to that coaching into the Assault Vest, and that's the issue with Terrifier and Annihilate. You protect yourself from burns, but it doesn't protect you from an Ursaluna plus Sneasler combo, and Sneasler, once again, just showing why it's one of the better Pokemon in this format, as Sneasler switches out into the Ursaluna, Amoonguss protects. I'm kind of wondering if this is a coaching into Incineroar, believe it or not. It's going to be a race just into the Amoonguss slot, so Incineroar either party shot it or he went for another Will-O-Wisp into the Sneasler slot. Might be a knockoff, and it doubles the Amoonguss, so great turn for David.
Yeah, really good turn for David there, and I don't hate the play from Felipe. Even with Ursaluna out here on the field now, you do still have the KO opportunity with Annihilate. Obviously, Amoonguss can and won't go for the redirection there, but might just go for like a Spore or something and try to play this out a bit slower, get whatever's in the back here, including the Sneasler just coming back out here without the...
Just a parting shot into this Amoonguss, so if you thought Amoonguss wasn't going to do damage, it's probably not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, I would imagine it just wants to Spore, though, so...
I mean, if he Spores the Incineroar, whatever comes in is going to likely go to sleep here, and we do know it is that Blood Moon Ursaluna.
Yeah.
Annihilate's also prone, because it's -1 attack, defense, special attack, and special defense, believe it or not, but Annihilate's just going to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the Spore is just going to go into that Annihilate spot, knowing that the safety goggles are on that Incineroar there.
And Annihilate's getting close to full here, kind of just being left alone.
Yeah, but it's at -1, and it doesn't have bulk up or anything. Sneasler can come out here, and now it feels pretty good for David just to attack into that Ursaluna slot. The Annihilate is on its guaranteed sleep turn. Ursaluna can protect to try to stall out that turn here, so it might then just come down to how much damage does it actually do to Ursaluna, and can Annihilate get the one-turn wake-up?
That is a close combat into the Ursaluna. I was just at the point that maybe you need to be worried about the Amoonguss, and you like to admit, because I think the game plan from Felipe kind of is going to have to revolve around that Ursaluna, and therefore you kind of need to get the Intimidate onto the Sneasler as quickly as you can to make sure you live in close combat, then potentially Blood Moon knock out the Amoonguss, but even then, that's difficult because you don't live 2 close combats. And Annihilate, maybe it was a good thing you stayed in and took that first turn of sleep. Maybe it was.
Yeah, no, I think it was definitely fine that Annihilate took the sleep turn there. The big thing is Annihilate wants to wake up here and KO Sneasler with Rage Fist, I think. It's just such an awkward spot to be in right now.
Yeah, that parting shot definitely is biting Felipe in the back right now.
Just a bit, and I think even more than just doing the parting shot, it's just the fact that it was done to this Annihilate that didn't really have anything else that it could really accomplish right now. I like this switch in here, because you might lose your Incineroar right now on the switch in with the close combat, but you're able to bring the Ursaluna back out with the -1.
Oh, it goes down to that close combat, even despite the -2 that has already been taken. And yeah, I just have to point that out too, because the moon is protected. Now you have a free Blood Moon essentially on that slot.
Yeah.
Does it wake up though this turn? No, it takes a second turn.
That's... See, I think... Well, and I guess Felipe does have an opportunity to kind of stall out a little bit here.
Why didn't you just go for coaching on the Ursaluna and try to get it bulky?
I guess you could. I think you need to KO the Sneasler with Annihilate. I think you try to wake up here, protect the Ursaluna, and try to take out the Sneasler, although Rage Powder can come through to just stop that. It could just be... Okay, I don't win this if Ursaluna does not take a close combat. I just need to click Hyper Voice right now.
It's that -2 attack, but then again, you do need to coach you at least outlast yourself against against Sneasler. It does take half from this close combat, as Amoonguss does fail to double protect, so there's that. Poison Touch does trigger, so Ursaluna's now on a timer.
Yeah, but Ursaluna took that pretty well, honestly.
And that's a third turn of sleep on Annihilate!
If it wasn't still asleep, David would be in a pretty decent spot here.
And Earth Power...
Earth Power.
Yeah, that is not good. Ursaluna going to lose a bit of HP to that Life Orb, and the munching on that is on that Citrus Berry, going to get it back to 75% HP approximately. Ursaluna, I think this game's over.
Yeah, there was somewhat of a way into it. I think he just needed to get the Sneasler out of the way there. Felipe did.
Ursaluna is just going to attack here, and of course I'm not going to wake up this turn, but I think David just goes for Rage Powder just to make sure you don't... Oh, no Rage Powder comes out. It's going to be close combat into the Ursaluna to KO it, and Annihilate will have the opportunity to just attack this Sneasler should it want to, but again, I think David just either... Judging by the fact that he didn't go for the Rage Powder, I think he scored either to... You don't really lose anything going for Spore here. It might be Annihilate, just going back to sleep immediately.
I think it's probably going to be the Annihilate here.
Yeah!
I mean, if you know it's got to wake up now. And the thing is, assuming that is the Golden Go in the back for David, there wasn't really a way out here for Felipe just because the Sneasler was still there for so long.
And there's the Golden Go, the last one from David Huttner. And it's definitely well positioned against this Annihilate, but... we
can get a tiny bit of information here in terms of whether the Annihilate or the Golden Go is faster here.
Well, Amoonguss is definitely going to be a slower one here. It's going to go for Rage Powder.
Yeah, that's for sure, but it is at least a nice little chunk of information.
Annihilate is first.
Okay, so Annihilate is faster than Golden Go. So yeah, I think that would have been an out for Felipe potentially. It's a
-1 special defense, actually. I really don't think he's going to survive that. Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, I don't think Annihilate's taking that one. And yeah, I think that was an interesting play for Felipe. I think he really needed to try to...
Earth Power is not enough to knock out the Amoonguss either.
Yeah, I think he really needed to try to focus down the...
That's game one, David.
Yeah. I think he needed to try to focus down the Sneasler a little bit earlier, potentially like with a Hyper Voice instead of the Earth Power there. That ended up going to the Amoonguss just because... Once that Sneasler was out of the way, the Annihilate would then be the fastest thing on the field. It could try to Rage Fist the Golden Go, and if you get at least that much damage down, maybe you can get through it with whatever HP Ursaluna has left. Because it took 2 close combats. Like, it did not get taken out by just 1 close combat, so it had the ability to just eat 1 and try to keep chugging through it.
Couple of things did go wrong for Felipe, though. First of all, 3-turn sleep on Annihilate was unfortunate. Second of all, again, I gotta point this out again, departing shot into his own Annihilate, but that really only works if your opponent double protects, and that did not happen.
Yeah, those were a couple of issues early on in the battle. Not anything that he couldn't have eventually come back from, but I'm interested in seeing what Felipe wants to try to do here, because I think he does have a lot of options that he didn't necessarily bring in Game 1. I think a big thing is just, I think Blood Moon's good. I don't think it's bad in this matchup. I don't think it's necessary here. And we saw it not do a ton of damage in that last battle. It didn't get the 2-hit KO on a Moongus with Earth Power, and it barely touched anything else.
Well, we got a switch up here from David. It's going to be that Dragonite plus Ursaluna lead, and Felipe switches it up too with the Incineroar with Annihilate, and there is no inner focus from this Dragonite. It's the multi-scale.
Yeah, it's the multi-scale variant.
And you want to know how we know that? It's because inner focus would have blocked Intimidate.
Yeah, it sure would have. Most of the multi-scale variants are going to have Haze, so it could potentially haze off its own Intimidate if it wants, but it also usually has like the Tailwind and the Scale Shot, which it will probably want to click a little bit sooner than any of the other moves. And with that Ursaluna there, I wonder how David wants to play these first couple of turns.
It's going to be interesting because, like, again, the Annihilate cannot set up. It can set up its teammate, but it's not really doing much of anything else.
Yeah.
It's going to be a switch up for the Ursaluna, so definitely does Close Combat again, because Close Combat is still doing a lot of damage, even though it is one of these weirder Annihilate sets, and Golden is going to make sure that doesn't do much anything here. Dragonite does put a fake out into the Dragonite, will get the Close Combat blanked by the Golden Go, who's part Ghost type, and Dragonite is just going to flinch, and notably, Annihilate's still faster.
Yeah, not a bad turn for Felipe there. You got to break the multi-scale on the Dragonite, as well as just like flinch it and not let it do anything turn 1. The big question now is, what do you have against Golden Go right now? And does that thing want to just Terra immediately?
Not sure if it wants to. Annihilate's just going to get out.
Yeah, I mean, Annihilate got
and Sinistcha is still going to hit. It has a Shadow Ball from the Golden Go, it's still going to hurt.
That's certainly true, although Sinistcha is a little bit bulkier, and it could just be protecting, Felipe could just be predicting something a little different there.
Oh no, it's just a Shadow Ball into the Sinistcha. It's going to take a hefty amount of damage.
Ooh.
Holds on at 6 HP, and there's a life form from this Golden Go, and Sinistcha's going to munch on a Citrus Berry.
Yeah, that was very close to just a 1-hit KO right there. I did not think it was going to do that much damage.
Knock off into Golden Go. Not enough for the knockout, but it will get rid of the life form and put Golden Go very dangerously low.
Sure is, and now the question is simply what... Because Golden Go is the fastest thing on the field right now. It's either Golden Go or Dragonite. It's definitely David's side. And so the question is, yeah, so Sinistra's just going to Rage Powder, and I think David might just try to KO the Sinistra real quick.
Oh, it's making it rain, so it's going to bypass that Rage Powder, and Incineroar will like to eat that, but now, do you get Haste here if you're David, or do you go for the Scale Shot? I'm pretty sure Haste is the safer option based on your stat drops. No, it's just going to be a Scale Shot into this Incineroar. It won't do much of anything for the first hit. Here's 2. All for free. We get 3. The loaded dice make sure it's a minimum of 4. Now, do we get the 5th? We do.
Yeah. It's pretty good damage for being at -1, I will say.
There's a defense drop and a speed boost now from this Dragonite, so it is going to get faster over time, and Will-O-Wisp lands on the Dragonite!
That is pretty big, although I wonder how much David just wanted to click Scale Shot there for the speed boost to potentially now let Tailwind go off. Because now if Dragonite wants to Tailwind here and allow the Golden Go to get a big hit off, or one more big hit off before it gets KO'd.
And actually, Ursaluna's in a really good spot here, I'm not gonna lie, because I know Ursaluna's still gonna take a decent chunk from Make It Rain, but this Dragonite's not doing damage anymore, and Ursaluna kind of is free to just launch Hyper Voices or Blood Moons.
It certainly is for right now. I mean, the problem is that Felipe's already a Pokemon behind, and David has only really shown his leads so far. I
mean, he sort of switched out Ursaluna early on.
Yeah.
There's the Haze. Gonna get rid of every stats that Dragonite and Golden Go has taken. It's gonna be another Make It Rain.
That's clever.
And Ursaluna does take it really well here. Incineroar does hang on again. It's probably gonna be a Blood Moon for this Ursaluna. No, Incineroar goes first. It goes for a parting shot. And instead, Golden Go didn't switch out.
I guess reading a switch out potentially.
And Dragonite hangs on the Hyper Voice.
That's a kind of interesting. I'm not sure if Incineroar would have picked up the KO on Dragonite, and I'm not sure if it necessarily would have been particularly useful if it did, but it probably could have at some point. So I wonder if that was a little bit of a misplay there. But now, I mean, David's in a nice spot because that Ursaluna has taken a bunch of damage already. The Incineroar is pretty low, and
He's gotta switch out.
Yeah. And depending on which Ursaluna is faster, I mean, I feel like we kind of teased out that David's was probably going to be faster, but
Protect from Felipe, so
we could see a Tailwind here from Dragonite.
if that is Tailwind, it's going to be devastating. It's Tailwind.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. David now has speed advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, Felipe's not getting an attack off this turn, gets the Hyper Voice, and we'll get another Hyper Voice next turn that's, again, not really contested.
It's not doing a lot to Annihilate, but the damage is going to add over time.
Yeah, it sure is. Terra hasn't been used yet on David's side, so do have that as a defensive option for Ursaluna.
Just an interesting situation here from Felipe, because your Annihilate is getting boosted with Rage Fist, but you can't touch the Ursaluna, and if you are going to touch Ursaluna, you gotta go for close combat, which I'm going to assume is not doing a whole lot of damage to this Ursaluna, because, well, judged by the HP number.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Ursaluna's just a real bulky bear. It just has a lot of HP flat out, and so it will certainly take some hits here. I mean, it's just a question of whether Felipe can get into a position to win this game, especially getting the Ursaluna out of here without taking too much damage himself.
And that's a Terra from Felipe.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what this is going to be. It's going to be the Annihilate wrestling for the first time into the Grass Terra.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting. I guess it's just anti-Amoonguss stuff. I'm not too surprised in general, and I guess in this case it's not a terrible choice. It's a little weird.
I mean, resist Earth Power. That's the only thing it's doing right now. It's going to be a Blood Moon straight into the Annihilate. It hangs on at 11 HP, so the Leftovers recovery actually saved the Annihilate during this turn. Close Combat goes into the Ursaluna. Yeah, figured it wouldn't KO, but it comes actually a lot more closer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
What does Ursaluna do for Felipe, though? It's going to be another Hyper Voice. I'm not sure that knocks Ursaluna.
This will be close.
Launches it, and goes down.
Okay, that is a real nice turn for Felipe, and I did not think it would be as good as it ended up being. I still think David's in a pretty decent spot, but it's gotten a lot dicier after that turn. That Dragonite just keeps ticking down to burn, but I mean, the big thing here is I don't know if Felipe has the juice to take out, this Sneasler.
Yeah, there's still a Sneasler. Here's that full HP, and it means business. It is going to outspeed all of Felipe's Pokemon for the rest of the game, and now you wish you had Sinistcha.
Yeah, and they're all at really low HP, too, all the remaining Pokemon for Felipe. Like Sneasler, and even, I think Dragonite at this point can KO either the Annihilate or the Incineroar with the Loaded Dice Scale Shot. It's going to be close, but I mean, the HP is real low on these Pokemon.
There's a switch out from this Annihilate, and in comes Incineroar. Going to get an important Intimidate on each of these Pokemon, but I think it's too late for the Intimidate with how low these HP bars are.
It might be. It'll come down to, one, whether this KOs.
Yes, it does.
It sure does. Might have been kind of close at -1, but certainly got there. And now it's a question of whether the Scale Shot hits. I think David's still in a good spot, even if it doesn't. But
Scale Shot and it hits. 1. That's doing.
I don't know if that's going to KO.
2. It won't if it's 5. This is 3.
Ooh.
4. Does it get a 5? Yes!
Oh, wow. Does get that 5th hit. Does pick up the KO, and I think that's...
It's Annihilate versus the World now, and I don't think... It's single target moves on everything. I don't think it's going to get anything KO'd in time.
Yeah, and also Annihilate's at like 24 HP. I don't know that it's going to be able to get through this one.
Dragonite still is going to get through the turn, though. Another burn tick.
Yeah.
And, well, I think we have another 2-0 in our hands here.
Yeah, I think we just might. Certainly a slower one than some of the previous ones, but...
Do we see a final gambit just for the send-off? No, we see a Rage Fist comes down, and David's going to Terra.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
Probably is going to be a Sneasler Terra. I'm going to tell you guys what it is, Sneasler Terra. This is one of 3 Terras. It's Stellar.
Okay, it's Stellar. I guess that's fine. They do more damage. Confirm the KO for certain.
Yeah, there's the defense buff over here. Dragonite is just going to go over to Haze, reset those defense drops on the Sneasler. Also get rid of Dragonite's own speed boost. Won't matter here. Dire Claw with the Stellar Boost KOs the Annihilate, and it's going to be a 2-0 victory for David Huttner.
Yeah, really nice one there, and I just liked how he played around Haze that entire set. Because you think about the Haze Dragonite, and it's like, yeah, you can reset your own defense when you scale shot, and that's nice, and you can hit, like, setup sweepers, you can Haze Golden Go, you can Haze King Gambit, but the side Haze is also a really nice way to play that out with the Golden Go, with the Sneasler against Intimidate. Like, there was just a lot of different ways that David used that during the series, and the Dragonite just got so much work done.
Yeah, you wonder why Dragonite is one of the best Pokemon in the format. That definitely is one of the best reasons for it. Although, granted, that's every scale shot lands, which is never always the case.
That's certainly true. If that last scale shot didn't hit, maybe things would have been a little different, but who's to say?
Yeah, who's to say? But what is to say is a commercial break incoming. So we'll be back after this break, and we'll be back for round number 5. House. Whoa, we got wrong screen.